Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. Well, folks, it's almost playoff time here for our winter sports. The basketball programs, both boys and girls, are about a week away from their playoffs starting, and the indoor tracks had some of their meets already, and wrestling just around the corner too. We do have a state champion already here in the winter quarter. Never guess. Bowling, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, but we have a bowling championship from Class 7A here in Birmingham, and the next week or two we hope to have the coach and some of his championship bowlers on our team. As we get ready for the basketball playoffs, as we just talked about a moment ago, I want to remind you that we've got quite a few schools here in the Birmingham area whose basketball teams are playing very well. And in the top 10, boys, for instance, in Class 7A, Mountain Brook, Spain Park, Oak Mountain are all in the top 10. The girls, Hoover and Thompson, are in the top 10 in Class 7A. Class 6A, we've got Homewood, Woodlawn, and Huffman, the boys, and then the girls, Homewood, another outstanding year for both their programs, and the Center Point girls in Class 6A. In Class 5A, Helena has their boys in the top 10, where in Class 5A, Winona, undefeated so far this season. They won over 20 ball games without a loss. Ramsey and Carver of Birmingham are all in the top 10. So we say that's a great representation from the Birmingham area, and who knows, we may have one or two championship teams come out of all those teams that as we get ready to head in the playoffs. And of course, these coaches are all hoping that their teams are peaking at the right time, and the right time is when those playoffs start. So folks, we're only a few moments away from getting our show underway with our first guest. We'll take a quick break. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
You know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa. The amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course. Miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Good driver discount, multi-car discount, good student discount. Helping you save money on car insurance is just part of the service you get from State Farm agent Jack Traffinstead. Whether an accident or a simple question, Jack and his staff get you the help you need. And that's the value only a State Farm agent can provide. Call Jack Traffinstead today. 40 million drivers already know nobody gives more discounts to more drivers than State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their number one objective. Hello again, everybody, and once again, welcome back. Our first guest of the evening tonight is the head girls basketball coach at Vestavia Hills High School, Laura Casey. And Coach, awfully good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
We were talking about the fact that it's been a while since you've been on, and we are taping in a little bit of a different area, but in the same complex, so that's not so bad. But didn't realize already you'd been at Vestavia 6 years already. But before we get into talking about this year's team and everything, tell us a little bit about your background for people that may have never seen you before, how you ended up being there at Vestavia High School.
Sure. I am a Rebel. I grew up in Vestavia and played basketball for the legendary Fran Brash, and when I graduated, I went to Virginia Tech on an academic scholarship, and I actually never thought I'd be back in coaching. I went to be a soil scientist and found my way down to Auburn for graduate school. And when I finished, I married a Birmingham boy who wanted to live back up in Vestavia. And when I started looking for a job, they had some teaching openings in biology at Vestavia. So it was a community that had given me so much as a young athlete, and so it was sort of my way to give back. And I coached for a couple years and fell in love with it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I tell you what, did you play basketball as well at Vestavia?
I did.
Okay, so the one thing that I would ask you and get your opinion on is the difference between the boys and girls game, and I'll tell you the direction I'm headed in, and then you can talk about it just a little bit. I heard this talked about a couple of weeks ago where for years and years the game was played below the rim. Mm-hmm. And so now, of course, with the athletes that we have today, there's been talk through the years about even raising the goals a little bit. But and I don't know if that's the answer. The one thing I've always said, and you elaborate on this a little bit if you'd like, is that when you see young ladies play basketball, they are playing what I call pure basketball. The way we learn to pass, dribble, shoot, free throws, and so forth, and work together as a team. Now it's like everybody wants to make that highlight reel every chance they get. Talk about what you've seen in your years, not only as a player but involving as a coach, how the differences are.
Sure, it's certainly changed. The game has changed some. I think we play much faster than we used to, but for girls, there's never, as far as I have ever seen, in my years playing or coaching, seen a girl who could dunk or who could really do anything like that around the rim. So for girls, just by nature of how we're made, the game's a little bit different. And so you also don't see as many prolific female basketball players. I think on the teams that you do have one or two, those teams are usually very, very good, because it only takes one or two in the female game to be really do well as a team. So I think you see a lot of times that it does take more teamwork just because of the nature of the game and the kinds of players I think that we have. So you see a lot more shooting outside, and you see a lot more team-oriented stuff than in the boys' game.
Well, and I think the most simple way for me to say it is they seem to play basic basketball a whole lot better, and they focus more on that. But having talked about that, now let's talk about this year's team. I know that you don't have the number of wins you would like to have, but and maybe you've had teams that's had more wins, but talk about this team, the personality of it, and have they achieved with their ability what you expected, or is the best yet to come, we hope?
Well, I certainly hope the best is yet to come. As a coach, I definitely want to win, and that's certainly not everything, but this group has grown, and we tried to tell them early on that growth is messy, and a lot of times it's not fun to go through those growing pains of learning and figuring out how to be a team. I have a bunch of really young players. I do have a set of seniors who've been around, but as far as people who really contribute, I have two seniors who really contribute on the floor of the game, but learning their role and kind of learning how to grow and make good decisions has been kind of part of this year. So they have done everything that I have asked them to, and I certainly hope that we have a couple more wins under our belt.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because there's so many of the rules that are different, just a tad with the boys and girls through the years, and I ought to know them, but some of them I might slip up on. But when y'all get into the playoffs, do all the teams qualify in the first round?
Yes, sir.
The only negative part about that, and we're going to make this up because I don't know and I'm not going to ask you, I'm just going to say if your team finished fourth in your area, then you're pitted against the number one team.
That's correct.
And the thing that I think that is good and bad about the playoffs is all of a sudden it becomes a one-game season.
Sure.
No matter what. And so from that standpoint, I think every coach, and we talk about this all the time, Laura, is hoping that if my team hasn't peaked, then that's when I want it to happen.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't matter what kind of the number of wins or losses you've had. Of course, like you say, we want to win all the games. That's why we keep scores. Sure. But realistically, we don't win all of them, right. and we do the best we can do. Let me ask you this, because I know we've put, and this is one thing, and trust me, there's a bunch of things wrong with our society today, okay? But to simplify it for sports, I think we've got to the point where we put too much emphasis on winning and not enough emphasis on growing from the experience.
Sure.
And I think that's all that any coach wants. And I want your opinion on this, because I've asked other coaches about it. But in my opinion, a coach cannot be dissatisfied with his team, win or lose, or her team, win or lose. If they go out and those kids give 100% and they still lose, you cannot be disappointed. If that's all they have, all you want is them to be the best that they can be. Talk about that in a little bit, and why I think we expect too much out of the winning and losing.
Well, you know, going back to the season, it's certainly a one-game season, you know, at this point in the year, and we look forward to that. That's what we coach for, and that's exciting. But as far as the rest of it, you know, we try to teach our kids that excellence is doing your best regardless of the outcome. And I think that puts them to have a better perspective in life. You know, you're not always going to be successful in everything you do, but the idea that I'm going to do my best regardless of who benefits, regardless of if it's about me or not, and regardless of the outcome. And you know, sports in high school is a really neat thing, because it's one of the few things that these young athletes can do in their life that is not really about them. It's about their team far more than it is about the individual. And so it's a really unique learning experience for them to learn what it means to do everything in the world to something that may not even benefit you at all.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, as we wind this down, the one thing I know that you, like all other coaches, you prepare your team not only for the court, but for life after basketball.
Absolutely.
And that's what we appreciate about you coaches so much. Awfully good to see you again. It's been too long. We'll have to get together and not so far apart, but I wish you and your team good luck in the playoffs, because they're about a week away, right?
That's all right.
Folks, we'll take a quick break and we come back. Some of the girls that have been very instrumental in the season that stage has had thus far. We'll be right back.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, welcome back. As you can see, I got 5 outstanding young athletes sitting here closest to me, and they are probably pretty good at what they do, and that's play basketball. First, let me introduce them. Jessica Compton, a senior, and you're a guard,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And then we've got Renisha Evans, you're a senior, forward.
Yes, sir.
And then we got Miss Maddie Vernon, a senior, forward.
Yes, sir.
And we've got Caitlin, is that Picard?
Yes, sir.
That is a senior guard.
Yes, sir.
And finally, we've got another senior, Samantha Salmon, and you're a guard. Okay, now girls, oh, y'all look so nice. If y'all look this nice on the court, you never would win. So what I'm saying is when you get on the court, you put your game face on, right? All right, Jessica.
Yes, sir.
Being a senior, going into this season, what were your expectations for you and your team for this senior year?
I think for especially my senior year is I just wanted to, in the best way that I could, leave an impact for the younger kids, and I just really wanted to focus on leading them so that when we were all gone, that they would have something to follow.
Good. Renisha, a senior forward. I want to ask you a basketball playing question. Are you a forward that likes to score, or are you a forward that clean the boards up?
I think I'm a forward that cleans the boards up.
In other words, if anybody messes with you, they probably going to be sorry, right?
Yes,
going into this year, who has being a senior, how many years have you been playing basketball?
6 years.
Long time. At Vestavia, how long?
5 years at Vestavia.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Who is the one team that you enjoy suiting up and playing against every year?
Mountain Brook.
Mountain Brook?
Yes, sir.
Why?
I think they're like really good competition, and like that's like a really good team to play against.
So are you one of these young ladies that think win or lose, if you play in good competition, you probably grow from it?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. And then of course we got Miss Maddie. Now Maddie, let me tell you, I'm going to ask you a question. It might be hard for you to answer, but you're going to have to. There's a difference between guys and girls. And she says, no, really. Yeah. But what I mean is, us guys, we're sort of tough, mentally we're pretty tough, physically we're fairly tough sometimes. But you girls are different. Yeah, I don't mean this ugly. I've heard it said a young lady doesn't wake up in the same world every day. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. But having said that, the question that I want to ask you, one important aspect of a good team is team chemistry. Now, to have good team chemistry, you gotta like one another. No infighting, cat fighting, as we would say with the young ladies. But you gotta like one another. And the reason that I say this and ask you about this, if the team chemistry is good, not only will you end up being the best player you can be, but you end up being the best team you can be. From that aspect, talk about the chemistry on this team.
I think our team chemistry is really good. I wouldn't say like any of us really like don't like each other. I think we all get along really well, but I think it's really important to just really mutually respect each other. And I think that helps you on the court because like your teammate is going to do what they're supposed to do when they're on the floor.
Well, that's good. Caitlin, talk about leadership role. Being a senior, coaches always, whether it's rightly or wrongly, most of the time it's right, look to the seniors for leadership. Because sometimes they can help them, even with discipline, as crazy as it sounds, or a player that, may be out of line a little bit. Sometimes it's easier for you players to discipline yourselves, and it takes a load off the coach from that standpoint. Talk about that situation in the leadership, what you think is expected out of you and your other senior players.
I think we just have to set a good example for everyone and always work hard, and even when things are going tough, just play our best.
Well, I think if everybody plays that way, then the coach will never be disappointed in you. Samantha, are you one of these young ladies that when you go on the basketball court, do you feel more comfortable playing at home, between home cooking, home crowd, everybody, yeah, pulling for you and all that kind of good stuff? Or, and I've had players tell me this, that's why I'm asking you this question, do you feel less pressure when you go on the road because you unconsciously want to really do good for everybody at home? Or have you ever thought about it?
I feel like we play better at home because we have our family and a lot of the students come.
Okay. All right, let me tell you the flip side of that, and this is the reason I asked that question, is a lot of times athletes say they feel like there's less pressure on them on the road because they have all that home folks there that they don't want to disappoint sometime, or you go into a hostile crowd, and sometimes you can play better, and the best way to stop a hostile crowd is outplay the home team, isn't it? All right, girls, this is the first time I've ever met y'all, and I enjoy asking this question, and I got a feeling I'm going to get some pretty good answers on this one. But if any of you have a superstition or a hobby that might surprise me if you shared that with me, what would it be? And Jessica, we're going to start with you.
I like to sew.
Really? So in other words, if you ever tore your uniform, you could just sew it right back up.
I mean, I could try. I don't know if I'm that good, but I've gone to sewing camp before. My parents gave me my own little sewing machine for Christmas.
Really?
I can set it up in my room. Yep, I got it all.
And you never sewed your hands together or nothing?
I have not, actually. It's never happened to me
That's
before.
good. Have you made some clothes?
I've made an apron. I've made a pillow. I've made a purse. I was going to make a dress, but that one didn't work out
not
well.
time.
But
Multi-talented
maybe one day.
young lady here. Okay. Renisha, what would surprise me?
I like to dance.
Really?
Yes, sir.
You feel like dancing? Oh, that's right. You've got a hurt knee. Were you injured in a game or practice? Or?
In a game.
Really? No surgery or nothing, no?
No, sir.
Just rest is going to help you, hopefully?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Any kind of dancing? You like break dancing, square dancing?
I like ballet and like lyrical dances.
Really? Well, bless your heart. If it makes you feel good, you do it, right? Okay. All right. Well, Maddie, how about you?
I'd say I'm really into makeup. That doesn't work out well in the basketball court.
I'm into makeup too.
But yeah, I love makeup.
Really? Okay. Well, that means you care about what you look like. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Caitlin?
I like playing ukulele.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Is that the same thing as a banjo?
No, sir.
No, sir. That's what I thought. Well, okay, but I know it's one of those little stringed instruments, right?
It is.
Do you sing when you play?
I do.
You country
She's
or
really
what?
good.
Rock or?
Whatever.
Just whatever makes you feel good. Okay, well that's good. Okay, how about you, Samantha?
I like to adventure.
Really? Adventure. Okay. Well, an adventure, we're talking about doing adventurous things or going to see things?
I just like to get in the car and go.
Get in the car and go. Well, that's okay. A lot of times I become adventurous when my wife and I get upset. I get in the car and go. That has saved our marriage. Okay, girls, now let's see. One other thing that I would like to ask you, all of you are seniors, so I'll just start around the horn and we will start with you, Jessica. Hopefully, if it's not a basketball scholarship or even if it is, where do you hope to go to college next year?
Next year, I'm going to be going to Alabama, and I'm going to major in nursing.
Okay, great.
I'm going to Troy, and I'm going to major in business.
Really? Okay. And how about you, Miss Maddie?
I'm going to Birmingham Southern, and I'm undecided.
Okay, now that's a tough subject, so good luck on that. Okay, Caitlin?
I'm going to Auburn, and I'm going to do hotel and restaurant management.
Okay, great.
I'm going to Birmingham Southern, and I'm doing biology.
Okay, last question. I saved the best for last. And so we're going around the horn again, and we're going to start with Jessica. To this point in y'all's young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? Jessica, we'll start with you.
In general, of our whole life, I think my grandmother.
Okay.
Matthew Cameron at Vestavia High School.
Really? Okay.
I'd probably say my mom.
Okay, moms are always there for us, right? Okay, Caitlin?
Definitely my parents.
Your mother? And Samantha? Your grandmother. All right, girls, one piece of advice as that clock winds down. I know you haven't played your best basketball yet, okay? I'm not going, hey, I know, but I know. And the one thing that I'm hoping, playoffs are right around the corner. I hope your girls get hot at the right time, okay? Boy, wouldn't it be nice to surprise this whole state and win the championship? But girls, it's been a delight to meet you. Good luck in whatever endeavor y'all get into in the future, whether it's teaching or business or whatever. But more than that, good luck in this tournament coming up, okay?
Thank
Good
you.
to see you. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, another coach and some more athletes. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Ted Townley in Homewood today.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. As you can see in this segment, we've got a new coach, and matter of fact, it's an assistant coach with the Hoover Lady Bucks, and our Tiffany Frederick couldn't be here under the weather, but Marvin Jones. And Marvin, I think you've been with Coach quite a few years, right?
Yes,
this has been her assistant, and you've been on the show before. Good to see you.
Yes.
And as we start this segment, Coach, tell us a little bit about your background and how you've ended up being there on the staff with Coach Frederick.
Originally, I started out with her probably about 12, 13 years ago. I just started out doing the strength and conditioning, and she needed some help, and we've been together ever since. I went to college for track and field, but I played basketball, so I had a little knowledge in it. So just been growing ever since.
When they're going into this season, I know y'all have had a good season thus far.
Yes.
What were the expectations from this group? There's a lot of senior leadership, or you just have a lot of players that's playing really well? Talk about that.
Well, we have 3 seniors. This is actually our 4th year at Hoover. So these is basically our original group. This is the group that actually was there when they were freshmen our first year. So they've actually had to endure through everything and just see us, and we had to watch them grow for 4 years. So they actually know us, we know them, and it's just been a growing process.
Well, I tell you one thing too, and you can share this with our viewers as well from a coach's standpoint. There's an adjustment when you go from one school to another.
Oh, big adjustment.
And talk about that, because most of the time it's a positive move, or coaches don't move.
Right.
But yet, when you get the opportunity to move up the ladder or somewhere where you might have really wanted to coach, and that opportunity comes about, you take it.
Yes. Yeah, we came from Fairfield, which was 5A at the time. So really just got the kids in the working hard. We didn't have the facilities and stuff wasn't as good, but so the change was just you had better facilities, you had more kids, and the work ethic never changes.
Right.
So you just brought the work ethic with you and just kind of keep it going.
I tell you what, I've talked with a lot of coaches, a lot of different sports, and I'm going to ask you the same question and get your opinion on it. Assistant coaches are very important. And most of the coaches will tell you this too, because it's his staff and his athletes. He sure couldn't do it by himself. But from that standpoint, talk about your job as an assistant, what exactly it is you do, what coach expects out of you, and what you do outside of that to do your part to help make the kids the best they can be as individuals and also as a team.
Well, as an assistant, then you're basically the coach's eyes, so she can only watch so much and judge so much. You're actually giving other input. If she might have missed something, or if you see something that could actually help as far as the game and the game plan, then you just have another input. So it's just 2 people getting to strategize. Kind of like playing chess 2-on-1. As far as the girls concerned, it's like sometimes the head coach has to actually be on a kid to make them perform, and that'll be my turn to pat them on the back, kind of tell them it's going to be all right, and then vice versa. Sometimes it'll be me that's on them, and she'll come behind them, because as coaches, both y'all can't be on a kid so hard that they can't recover. So it's kind of a yo-yo process.
Well, you know, that's very interesting. I've never heard it put quite that way, but you're exactly right. If one of them is, for whatever reason, has to come down, the other one's got to be there to build it back up.
Yes.
And it works together, and if the kid takes that, what we would call a negative aspect, it's awful easy to turn it into a positive one if you want to accept it and realize maybe there's work you need to do. Well, let me ask you this too. A lot of times, assistant coaches end up being on staffs for a long, long time, and I'll ask you about your life personally. Do you have aspirations of maybe being a head coach one day?
been asked that, and no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some people actually want to be here. I don't think I just really want to be a head coach. I've actually had an opportunity before, and I've actually had somebody ask me that before, and
it's just not there. The interest is not there.
The interest is just not there.
You feel like you're doing what you were led to do.
Yeah, I'm that right-hand man.
Well, all right, Mr. Right-hand man, I want to ask you this question. Tell me the difference. Now, I know you played basketball in your background.
Okay.
What are the different challenges coaching young ladies as compared to young men?
The only difference, the challenge is they don't watch it as much. So you don't have to worry about as much of them trying to emulate or imitate the LeBrons and the Kobes. It's like you actually come with a blank slate. So that actually is a good thing. So you don't have to correct so much of the negative.
Right.
So you actually putting everything in that you want in.
Well, let me ask you this. I've heard this said, and I personally believe this as well too, that young ladies play what I would call the basic game of basketball better than the guys do now, because the guys are skying above the rim and looking for that next highlight.
Right.
The girls, they to me play what I call pure basketball. They pass better, they shoot free throws better.
All fundamental.
They seem to work together, as a team better. And I was just wondering, it sounds like almost that's been a pleasant surprise for you.
Yes.
On one hand, for the girls to be that good to work with.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's that fundamental game, and it's not so many egos. It really is. You don't get so much of the playground aspect.
Right.
So it is a lot better.
And another thing that I would ask you about, I guess it's been sort of rewarding to get to Hoover, where, like you say, maybe better facilities, better this, better that, but from a coach's standpoint, probably more athletes to work with.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I'm saying and asking is, it seems like the interest for young ladies nowadays has grown in the sport of basketball for the simple reason now they can get scholarships just like guys do.
Correct.
But going back to that basic game we're talking about, it seems like the atmosphere surrounding the girls program may be a little more calm, if that's the right word. You know what I'm trying to say.
It should be. Our girls have to work so hard that I think that kind of pushes some away because of the work ethic that those girls put in. I mean, normally our preseason included 100 miles, so it was a lot of running, a lot of lifting, a lot of hills. So when if you're an outsider looking in, you trying to find you another sport to do. So, but once the ones that actually get in and buy into that, then it's nothing else. You wouldn't want it another way.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, the 8 minutes go by fast, but the one thing for sure, your team has played well all year, but I know you and Coach Frederick are hoping that the best is yet to come.
Oh, yes.
Coach, awfully good to see you and look forward to visiting more down the road. Okay?
All right, thank you.
We'll take a quick break. We come back. 3 young athletes have been very instrumental in the great success Hoover girls have had thus far. We'll be right back. Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Now, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back in this segment. As you can tell, I got 3 striping, nice looking young lady athletes here. Play basketball pretty well too. Sitting closest to me, Jalen Maddox, you're a senior and you're the shooting guard.
Yes, sir.
That's the kind of position I like too. Kendra Langham, a senior forward. right? And then Ebony Williams, and you're a 10th grader and a forward. Now, girls, going into this season, y'all have had a great season thus far. Very simple question, and the coach will be listening. Have y'all played your best basketball yet?
I think we're starting to play our best
Starting
basketball.
to play, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
these
the
last
key.
2 games have been really good. We've been really energetic in our games, and I think we're finally starting to pick up where we need to be.
Well, I tell you what, your record indicates you've played pretty well thus far.
Yeah.
But of course, and all the coaches, and I'm sure you athletes feel the same way, you want to be peaking come playoff time and playing your best. With that in mind, Kendra, going into this year, what did you and your teammates expect out of yourself first for your senior season and as a team?
I guess we looking for the seniors to actually lead, and so that's what we've been doing this year.
Well, I tell you what, y'all have played some awfully good basketball thus far. Ebony, being a 10th grader, you're the youngster in here, but you look like you're growing fast. You're going to be a tall young lady. Are you a big scorer or a big rebounder?
I think I'm a big rebounder.
Oh, you do. You're the one who have to get in there and knock elbows and get those loose balls from where these people miss, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Girls, this is the first time I've ever met y'all, and so a question I like asking young athletes is, do you have a superstition or a hobby that maybe you enjoy doing that old Snapper don't know about, but it would surprise me if you told me? And so, Jalen, we're going to start with you. Have you got a superstition or some hobby you really enjoy? Yeah.
I like to eat, so I like to cook.
You do?
I do.
Well, I tell you what, if you're a good cook, you run a lot. Because if you eat a lot, you have to run it off. Like, what kind of food? Is there a certain type of food you enjoy cooking?
Just anything that I can find off the internet.
Really?
Sometimes Mexican, sometimes
Okay,
Chinese.
so you look up recipes and stuff like that. Hey, that's mighty cool. I wouldn't go hungry then if I come by to visit. Okay, that's great. Kendra, how about you?
I'm more of a girly girl, so I like to shop and do stuff like
Oh,
that.
you're the
Nails.
kind that the cash register likes to see coming. Well, that's good. What, are you a clothes shopper or what?
Yes, definitely clothes.
Oh, okay.
Big on
So you want to look spiffy most of the time. Yes. Well, you look pretty spiffy in that outfit, so that's good. That's good. Ebony, how about you?
I like to draw in my free time.
Really? Oh, an artist? Or just, what do you draw? Anything, or are there certain things you enjoy drawing?
Whatever's on my mind, I'll just start drawing.
Yeah, well, that's good. Is it something that relaxes you, because a lot of times, for guys, it's like hunting and fishing and stuff like that. But drawing, that's really nice. Okay, girls, being seniors, Jalen, where would you like to go, or do you know where you're going to college yet?
Yes, I committed to VCU in November.
Okay.
Going to major in business and Spanish. So.
Okay, now you said you committed. That means you got a scholarship, right?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you're going to take Spanish?
Double major, Spanish and business.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Only Spanish I know, when it's no cheese. I don't like cheese, so that's all I know. I say, when it's no cheese, and that's it. And they think I'm talking Spanish or something. Well, that's terrific. So what do you hope that maybe one day that might lead you into? What type of field?
The business and Spanish, international business.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Kendra, how about you?
I'm actually committed to the University of Mobile.
Oh, really?
And I
Congratulations.
hope to, thank you. And I hope to be a pediatric pharmacist in the long run.
Well, that's a good occupation as well. Now, Ebony, it's way too early. Have you had a scholarship offer yet?
I've gotten letters.
Really? I halfway said that kiddingly, but that is a compliment to you as a 10th grader that people have already, you're on the radar. All right, this early in your young life, you got a clue what you might like to do one day? And I don't mean to put you on the spot. You can even make up something. I wouldn't know the difference.
I really like Auburn.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you like about Auburn?
I think they're like a really good school.
Oh, you do?
Like the
They
basketball
are.
program.
They are. I tell the kids that want to go to Alabama, I say, you got success written all over your face. But the Auburn kids do too. I mean, you get a great education anywhere. Well, let me ask you this, girls. Y'all been playing, I say probably 3 or 4 years on varsity, right?
3.
In your case. Is there a team you enjoy competing against more than another? And if it is, who is it?
Personally, I like playing Winona. we always say we play to the level of our competition sometimes. And so that just brings the competitiveness out of all of us, and we just play real hard. We know it's going to be a tough game going in.
It is. As a matter of fact, Winona's still undefeated, if I'm correct.
Well, they lost.
Did they finally lose?
Lost to Shades Valley.
Now they got that out of their system.
Yeah.
So now they may say, hey, I don't like that feeling. But you're right, Winona, you feel like that maybe you get better if you play better competition. Right, okay. Kendra, who you enjoy
I
lacing
also
it up
like
against?
playing Winona also.
Really?
It lets us see how good we really are.
Well, so in other words, you think then, and you mean it complimentary, that they're one of the better programs in the Birmingham area. They are in the state, period. Ebony, I know that you haven't, is this your first year, second year?
First year.
First year. Who'd you enjoy playing so far? Or was there a team you look forward to playing?
I enjoy playing Ramsey and Winona. They're really two good competitors.
Well, I tell you what, and the coaches will tell you this too, that you'll grow from winning and losing. You know, it's easy to be a winner. If you lose a game or something, you got to pick yourself up and get back, into that winning. So you grow from that. But girls, I tell you what, so far it looks like you girls could really do some damage in the upcoming tournaments. And I know that's what coaches are hoping for.
Yeah.
And I hope that Miss Tiffany thinks maybe y'all might go on a title run here. Well, the time really gets away from us. One last question I want to ask you young ladies. To this part, or to this time in your young life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons in your life? And we'll start with you, Jaden.
Probably my mom.
Well, the one thing about it, mom's always there, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Kendra?
My grandmother and my mother both.
Well, good. And Ebony?
Both my parents, my mom.
Well, good. I tell you what, girls, you've been delightful. I've enjoyed visiting with you. The most important thing that we want to talk about as we get ready to go. First of all, I guess you all hope that the best is still yet to come. That you've got to put that smiley face away for a little while. And y'all have been wonderful girls, but play the best basketball you can play. And we got your two seniors going away. It'd be nice to go away a title winner, wouldn't it? Yes. But even more important than that, going on to college to play some more basketball and get you a good education. Girls, good luck.
Thank you.
Nice to meet y'all. Folks, till I see you again, you know what the snapper always says, bicycle.